Hi, I'm Snake with Legs, and in this video, I'm going to talk about what is intuition and how to have more of it. Intuition is not a sense per se. It's not like sight or touch or hearing. It's a process and it happens on the subconscious level. So, to come to an intuitive conclusion, you need to pay attention to what your mind is giving you. So, if you see someone with a baseball bat next to someone without a baseball bat, and the person with the baseball bat is angry, intuitively, you're going to know that the person with the baseball bat is probably going to attack person B, even though that's not what's happening. But your brain is taking in the data and coming to a conclusion. Not because of one specific thing, it's because all the elements are coming together and being funneled into the intuitive answer. So, process of intuition is very natural and it's something your mind does all the time. How I like to word it, and I think the best definition of intuition is seeing the bigger picture, seeing the big pattern. There's not that big pattern is made up of smaller patterns, but unless you allow everything to fit together, you won't see the bigger picture. I think an important note is to not get intuition confused with emotions. Your emotions are something that happens after you receive sense data. Intuition is a sense data, but because we over emotionalize it, it gets harder and harder to differentiate between the two. Usually, people that tell you to be more intuitive, they say, "Oh, what feels right." When they say that, hopefully, if they know what they're talking about, they're not actually talking about like what makes you happy or angry, because intuition is not biased unless you allow your emotions to control it. So, like when you see a picture of an angry dog, you don't need to be angry or feel afraid to know that the dog's angry. The emotion happens after the perception. And oftentimes, this is what makes it so difficult to be intuitive because after we get the intuitive sense, we are either afraid or happy or we want a certain goal. And then that uh, clouds the intuitive perception. Emotions do this to all the other senses as well, but understanding that there is a difference and the intuition comes first, that's what's going to be allow you to better connect with it. Because instead of trying to feel your internal emotions, you're actually going to connect with the part of your brain that is 100 times smarter than you. Our ego and what we consider the I or the thinking self is only a very small part of our consciousness or our brain. The part of our brain that is putting all the sense data into an image and telling us what that means, that's going on in a subconscious level. And when you're intuitive, you are allowing that natural process to take place without interfering. So as soon as you get invested in the situation or in the outcome, then then your emotions start to cloud the intuition. But the intuition itself is very technical. True intuition isn't based off of things that aren't relevant or connected. Uh, your intuition is going to look to the past and remember situations that are similar or problems that are similar, and it'll pull that and collect data from it. But that isn't only if it's relevant, and you don't have very much control over what your brain decides is relevant and what isn't. So if you uh, so you can train your brain to focus on things that are relevant. And this is very helpful if you want to train your brain to be more intuitive in certain areas. So if you are trying to come up with creative ideas and your brain is effectively looking at a blank page, right? You don't have anything to be creative with. If you tell your brain, the part of your brain that is subconsciously in the background putting the image together, and you say, I want to see how two ideas can connect, or I want to see the link between two ideas that seem dissimilar, your brain is going to start picking out that pattern and connecting these two things that are could seem far apart. But if you convince your brain that that is an important thing to piece together in your experience, it will. It'll do that. Another thing you could do is tell yourself, I'm going to notice red cars. And your brain will start to find red cars because before that, it's not relevant to your brain. You might be seeing it with your eyes, but if your brain doesn't know that it's relevant data, it's not going to collect it and piece it together. So that's why your attitude, your goal is very important to your intuition. Because your intuition is a process, it's trying to achieve something. It's not just something that happens. You wouldn't know to look for the color red unless you knew it meant stop. And because you know it means stop, or it means no, or error, or do not continue, your brain intuitively can look at an image and even with no text can infer the meaning of it, but only because the data you're perceiving, your mind knows is contains information that's going to be relevant to the bigger picture. And this is all on the subconscious level. You're not, every time you go down the street, oh, there's a stop sign, red. All my past experiences in life have, told me that red is an important color and I need to stop. It's that's all going on in the subconscious mind. So I've struggled with intuition in the past, and I think that's due to a misunderstanding of what it is. On the spiritual note, because a lot of people tend to spiritualize intuition. They're like, oh, I had an intuition about this and I was right, therefore I'm psychic. Uh, your intuition is not, whether you have psychic abilities or not, and you can perceive things that others can't, that's irrelevant to intuition. Where you're getting the data from is neither here nor there. Uh, so the process of intuition takes all data and pieces it together. And the more you know what your goal is and what you're trying to see or trying to look for, the more your subconscious is going to take in data from wherever it can. And if it's to its advantage, it will use it. So when you train your intuition, focus on seeing the bigger picture, letting your brain handle piecing everything together for you, because it's doing that anyway. And the more you try and get in the way of it, the more struggle you're going to have, and the more your emotions are going to block you from those intuitive experiences. I have been working on my website. The link to that is in the description. I'm going to start writing more articles, but honestly, like, my website is just my personal social media alternative. All the things that I would like to post on social media, stories, games, books, ideas, images, that's all on my website. On everything I post on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, that's all advertisement for my website. So if you like this video and want more knowledge and wisdom, check it out. You might like it. You might just have some fun with it. So thanks again for watching, and have a good rest of your day.